Hi Collective, welcome to the channel. Alright, so this is going to be a late night reading that I'm doing on the actual full moon for April. As it is the 12th, it's early AM hours. We have our full moon tonight, so this energy is definitely coming in, and we also have some other cosmic alignment. I'm just going to do a little bit of reading. I'm going to do my Starseed transmission later on, as I've been getting together a lot of information for this because of the transits that are going on. This is a very, very powerful full moon, as it is our first full moon, okay, of spring. Okay, so, and it's actually our smallest full moon. They're actually calling it like a micro moon, which is interesting because it's our smallest in the entire year, and it's reading because it's so far out. Okay, so with this moon being full today, opening up the portal, it's also, we have Venus going direct today. Now, Venus has been in retrograde since March 1st, which I was reading that it was actually talking about the 40 days and 40 nights, okay, which is significant to a story about David and Goliath that I'm not going to get too much in, but I'm going to plant the seed there for whoever would like to pick that up. But it has a biblical significance. See, the biblical 40-day retrograde is a recurring theme, a transformation under God's guidance, and it's mentioned in both the Old and the New Testaments, including the story of David and Goliath, right? So there's something significant about that, this also being our first full moon following the equinox, which leads us into Easter, right? So the fact that the fact that we've had Venus in retrograde for the 40 days, 40 nights, it's going direct on the exact same time that we're having this first full moon that then starts us off. There's something very, very significant. That's why they were calling this a biblical 40-day retrograde. Okay, so I was investigating that a little bit, right? And we also have an influence of Chiron, which is our wounded healer. So the cosmic influences of April's full moon, including the challenging aspect of Venus and Chiron, which may relate to healing karmic wounds in love and relationships, self-worth. This full moon is also associated with powerful celestial alignments that bring heightened emotions, deeper connections, and a clearer path forward in love and personal growth. Okay. Let me try. I have a whole bunch of stuff, right? I'm trying to get it together here. So, because of Chiron's sensitive influence, you might feel especially tender and even triggered. These emotional wounds that could suddenly get extra achy. Using this opportunity to start healing from whatever pains come to the surface. Now, mind you, full moons are a culmination, right? And it's where you're finally closing out cycles, patterns. That's why we're in, with this being a full moon in Libra, it's all about finding that balance. So since we've been under this retrograde of Venus, it's really been getting you to, like, think about past relationships and situations. And for some of you, it could have been like repetitive cycles that were coming up for you to feel. Some of those wounds, okay, that could have been very triggering for you. Okay, so, see, this was the first time since 2023 was when Venus, our planet of love, beauty, and money, was going retrograde for the 40 days, 40 nights. Okay, and it even says that Venus retrograde will be causing like soap opera style breakups and makeups, flipping our perspective and our reality on its head. So that's what we've been experiencing. Okay, and then with the 40 days and the 40 nights, I didn't want to get too much into it. Okay, that's why I said I was seeding this for whoever wants to pick this up. Yeah, I didn't want to get too much into that. All right. So Venus stationing direct is helping you release the past and tune into the best ways to move forward together, repair, reconciliations if possible. It has been going in alignment with my readings as I've been talking about, so for some of you, it may look like reconciliations are possible if there's certain conditions, right? And some of these conditions are, you know, how you're feeling differently now, overcoming some of these wounds, because I'm saying, like, you cannot have reconciliations if you're going to hold on to these past wounds, because then it's just going to be repetitive cycles that are going to keep playing out. So for sometimes you need to have these guided separations, right? And then you can come back together with conditions. Why did I just go to Amazon? Sorry, I was thinking about something. So with Venus being the goddess of love and beauty, it's also going direct, which is preparing her for emerging from the underworld. So that's very significant that all of this is going on with this full moon portal energy. So like I said, I'm going to be investigating a little bit more. I'm going to put together my star seed reading later on today when I have some more time. There's been a lot of stuff that's been going on tonight with my family, so I haven't been able to get all of that together for the transmission. But we're just going to get into some cards, see what messages are coming out collectively with that, and go from there. What did I want to guide you guys to? You know, all my readings are timeless. We've been feeling this energy coming into. There's also connections with the eclipse. See, the Aries solar eclipse that we had on March 29th, it's connecting to this full moon. It's an unraveling of events. And we're going to be feeling this the next new moon. So for some of you, it's like things were coming out in phases and cycles and situations. I've been talking a lot about seeing things in new perspectives. Like my last couple of readings were finding this out allows you to walk away, ready for, no, it wasn't that one. Because for some of you, you're seeing things in new ways and new, if things can be changed. See, like maybe reconciliations with conditions for some, but for others, you're so done. That's what I mean. Remember, it's a collective energy. Because for some of you, you're recognizing these patterns and cycles, and it's like if others are recognizing these patterns and cycles and they're able to break them and actually use this energy with this full moon to really release those outdated cycles, to be able to step up, to level up to the next level, then these reconciliations, these new beginnings within relationships, this restart, refresh energies there. But for others, it's like you're done, because you're going to see that it's going to constantly be a repetitive cycle, a toxic cycle, because love can very much turn toxic and cycle, especially when somebody's like learned their toxic or their karmic patterns that they were in when they've overcame them. And it's kind of like trauma bonds, relationships. Like you trauma bond because you get together with somebody that has similar woundings, but as you start to heal and evolve from those wounds, if your partner doesn't do the same, as you are supposed to trigger them to do the same, but if they're refusing to do the work, then you're no longer a match, and then it's a love that can turn toxic, right? So that's why I said it keeps guiding me to this one with conditions. Maybe for some of you, you're feeling guided to go to that reading. Remember, all my readings are timeless, as my energy builds within the readings, and really time is just an illusion. It's constructed here for the 3D. So, you know, whenever you feel guided to any of the readings, right, they're for you. Know that. But it is more fun to catch my readings in real time, to take advantage of these cosmic alignments. Always keep that in mind. So subscribe to the channel if you do like to catch them in real time. But I would check in daily, because they don't always promote my videos, so I don't even know if you guys actually get the notifications when I drop videos, but whenever I record them, I drop them right after. So know that. And days that I'm busy, I can only upload 1 a day. You know, I try to do my 3. That's why I've been trying for like 2 hours just to get this one out today. But at least it's a start, right? Okay, so let's get into the collective energies and see what's going on. So an unraveling of events. That's why I really feel things are going to just be like synchronistic. You know, sometimes you're only allowed to see things a certain way, and then it's like when you see something one way, you're like, oh my gosh, then click, click, click. Like, I really feel like that's what's going on. It's almost meant to happen that way. Keep in mind, full moons are heightened energy of our emotional state, where we're really able to check in with our emotions and our feelings and get this new clarity, right? Is everything is in alignment, the earth, the sun, and the moon when we have these full moons, right? That's why it's a big influence of our emotional state, our feelings. It's a big time of closing these cycles out, right? Because especially that's when you close out a cycle, is when you recognize it. So, and especially having Venus retrograding, going direct, that's why I said this is a big influence on our emotions and our feelings and our relationships and situations, right? Okay, so anyway, all right, so that's just a little bit of influence and channelings of the energy. Let's see what the cards are coming out with collectively. So any part that's not fitting for you, just leave it out, because this can be going on for you currently. This could be past energy that I'm picking up on for you, or what's to come in the future. So take whatever feels for you. High Priestess is coming out with a star. Damn. Wow. Okay. Well, this is very, very powerful. Having the High Priestess, you know, she is very, very spiritual. It's a very, very powerful card. Look at the beautiful moon there and the scroll. This is new contracts straight away. And this is like wish fulfillment. The star card shows a period of healing. I told you, you're healing from these wounds. You're recognizing these things. Like I was saying, there's an influence of Chiron too, which is the wounded healer, as we all come into Earth with lessons and wounds that we need to overcome, like from our past life experiences. We all have certain wounds and aspects that we came here to be faced with, to overcome them. So for some of you, you're realizing that. You're realizing why you experienced certain relationships, why you bonded to certain people, what they did for you, what they showed you, is everything is literally a mirrored reality and it's reflected back at you, and you have to do the work and the healing to understand why you're triggering it to you. This is how you rise above these toxic challenges. And that's why, like I said, for some of you, with certain people, you can heal those wounds if they can do the inner work. But if they can't, then, you know, you start to align with things that are more in alignment with you. So this is a time of new contracts here. Okay, for some of you, like I said, it's collective. Take what you feel is for you. But the star is a wish fulfillment. Okay, now it comes after a period of healing. That's why you have to heal. Like if you don't get a wish fulfillment if you're sitting there in an energy of focusing on lack, if you're focusing on what you don't have. Do you see what I mean? That's why it's such a beautiful energy. It's often the ones that are the dreamers, the ones that want and desire. They know what they want. The High Priestess is very intuitive. Okay, it's a secretive card. For some of you, you could be keeping something a secret. You could be keeping things to yourself. Okay, but the universe knows what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and it's aligning things to you. That's why things could be starting to get unraveled. Sometimes you're literally shown what it is you truly desire. That's why sometimes you can literally see these things coming in for you, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this is in alignment with my desires. This is no longer in alignment with me, right? That's why we have these aspected times, right? You know, where there's major changes in new contracts and things. All right, anyway, let's keep going. So these are two major arcanas too, so it doesn't surprise me. As major arcanas, that's universal influences. That means that a lot of this is coming in, like I said, the universe is conspiring. Often it's the universe that brings in wish fulfillment after a period of healing. It's the universe's way of kind of like, you know what, you leveled up, you learned from this, good for you. I'm going to gift you something now. The Ten of Coins. What? With the Chariot, another major arcana. Okay, so on the bottom of the deck, yeah, there's definitely endings here. Ooh. 5 of Chalices to the Death and 2 of Swords. This comes at a decision. With the 2s, it's about decisions. It's a tough decision, head over heart. Okay, with the 5 of Chalices, that's endings, breakup, closures with death. This is definite ending, but it could also be transformation. Like I said, it's the same energy, because death is also transformation. This could be an ending of a cycle within a relationship, right? Certain wounds where it's like if you kept going around with repetitive cycles and you weren't seeming to evolve your relationship in situations, like say, for instance, like somebody had a fear of infidelity, right? So it constantly led to this cycle of not trusting, of things happening, do you know what I mean? And it didn't seem like the relationship could move forward because of those things, right? Where there were really inner woundings that needed to be healed. If somebody could actually heal that wounding, overcome that, trust, do you know what I mean? And then that can end that cycle and that situation, and it can grow and evolve from that. Or it could be the other way around, right? The moons do bring out secrets. They bring out things that are hidden. Okay, that's why all the things that are in the dark come to the light. That's why there are a lot of these big revelations. But we're going to find out more and see if I see any secrets and things like that coming up. But, okay, this is just what I'm seeing on the end of the deck. But see, this 8 of Swords, Okay, somebody was trapped and stuck in a situation. So this is definitely a jailbreak. And this is time where the universe comes in and breaks those barriers down. You're not supposed to be stuck. The universe does not like you to be stuck and stagnant. It doesn't like you to be in situations too where people are keeping you trapped and stuck, right? It's like if you can't trust somebody, then you're constantly thinking about them when they're not around you and things like that. And that's really messing with your emotional state. That's why I say that it's a very unhealthy relationship for you. It's toxic for you. It's not allowing you to move further and move on your path. That's why sometimes, like, you could be with the right person, but if you have fears, if you have insecurities and doubts and things like that, the universe could come in and throw towers and cause separations and cause you to get out of those things because it's not healthy for you. You need, when you're in a relationship, you're not together with your partner, you should still be focusing about you. You should be able to be living your life, not thinking about them, not worrying about them, not doing what. Do you see what I mean? How that can like, we can often see that as like some people see it as like spell work, energy harvesting and things like that, especially if people are playing games and planting those seeds and doing things to make you feel insecure or make you, you know what I mean? Like, the universe sees all of that, and we think that a lot of things are conspired. It's not to like cause strife and challenges. It's always to advance us further on our path and get us to realize that we are here living life for us, and that we really do need to be focusing our own energy on self-love. And that's why a lot of times, like, we get into these trauma bonded relationships and we stay in them, and they're meant to teach us lessons, and they're ultimately meant to teach us to love ourselves and to get healthy. And if you can, you know, you can have these beautiful connections, but not if you're with somebody that can't heal and grow with you. So for some of you, you're recognizing situations where you could have been stuck and bound in situations. The universe is coming into jailbreak. I do see 7 of Swords here next to the Lovers. Okay, so down here we do have somebody that was lies, deception, betrayal. Okay. And like I say, I always read the 7 of Swords as sometimes people don't realize that they're even wearing a mask. They could have the persona, and it's like if somebody doesn't love themselves and they're in a relationship just for transactional purposes, benefiting for like monetary reasons, you know what I mean, just not wanting to do life alone, but truly not in it for love, then that can come out. And sometimes people don't even realize that they're doing that. Okay, sometimes people's love language, literally, that's what they think that love is, right? Often that's very wounded people, so it's not always as deceptive as it seems. That's the way I keep my collective readings, just so you guys know, because unless it's a personal one-on-one reading where I'm really seeing the intent there, I'm never going to give it that way. Okay, so don't always run to that. But look, Wheel of Fortune with the Justice. That's why I say if you're in this beautiful energy, loving yourself, you know, you're working on yourself, you're doing what you should. If you're not getting the same energy reciprocated back at you, the universe is going to bring it in for you. And this is our full moon with Justice. So that's why I said, like, a lot of these jailbreaks that are happening are these higher level connections that are coming in, or refresh, restarts. Like I said, it's kind of been a testing point. Like I said, we've had 40 days and 40 nights of this Venus in retrograde energy. So this past like month and a half has really been showing you a lot of cycles and patterns. It's really been getting you to see a lot of the inner wounds within yourself, within your partners, relationships, situations. It's been allowing you to assess a lot of these things, and like, that's what I mean. Like, we're coming to a culmination period and with this full moon, but it's also this new start, this new beginning energy, right? So ultimately it always comes down to a choice, right? But it looks like you're headed towards your highest timeline with the 10 of Coins here. The 10 of Coins, that's everything. It is. It's having everything that we should desire, because really, like, money is just, it is currency, but it's a vibrational frequency. It's like love is the highest vibrational frequency of all. If you have that, then money is effortlessly. Everything flows to you. You know what I mean? Like, everything, look at how happy they are having everything in that card. Like, literally, that's where you're going, right? This is what is projected for you. So this is so powerful and so beautiful. All right, let's get some more cards. So, but it looks like with the 2 of Swords, you know, and that was projected for what's coming. Just so you guys know, the way I read the bottom of the deck is what's like the current energy was flowing around you at this time. And sometimes the 7 of Swords can also be an aspect of yourself. If you're holding on to fear, if you're wearing a mask, you know, sometimes we don't realize that we are. Like, if you're really trying to please a lover and things like that and be somebody that you're not, you could be coming up in that 7 of Swords energy as well. I know a lot of readers just read the Seven of Swords as like the con, the betrayer, I mean, for some it is, but anyways, more often than not, it's wounding for me. Okay, so the Nine of Wands is coming out with the Six of Coins, so damn. Yeah, this is bringing in fairness, which this Libra full moon is doing. The Nine of Wands, that's Nine of Wands. So somebody's had a lot of challenges, obstacles. Each of those nines represent like a blockage, right? But see how she's sitting here looking at that aura here. It's like, I think you're realizing all these things that have been blocking you along your path, right? Whatever these wands may be, you know, it's part of the lessons that we're here. You know, you're going through these wounds that are encoded within your DNA. Some of these wounds, in fact, that you're healing are literally wounds that like you inherited from your mother, your father, right? Remember, you are a product of them, right? So whether you knew them and grew up with them or not, you still inherited their woundings, right? So you're overcoming those. I feel they're being illuminated to you, but fairness is definitely coming in. And again, with the Two of Coins, there's definitely a decision here with the twos. You're contemplating something. You're definitely in control. This one's interesting. There's a baby on this card. I don't often have a baby on the Two of Coins. I've been seeing a lot of babies lately. Oh my gosh. It definitely represents new beginnings, abundance. If you're of childbearing ages, it could be a baby on the way. Look at this. Even she's pregnant in the Six of Coins. But it doesn't have to be. It could be birthing like a new beginning, right? You know, abundance. And she's holding the coin up in this card, you know? Like getting ready to have something. Like this is like $1 million idea too, with the gold pentacle and the 10 of pentacles and all that money trickling down. Like for somebody, that's like lots of money. Like I'm getting like $1 million ideas, things like that, like literally, like those come from this beautiful energy and timeline. You know, they take a lot of time to build too. For some of you, it's like you're finally realizing that all of these challenges and obstacles and things that you were experiencing, they were preparing you. Wow. Oh, wow, the moon. We've had the star, the moon, the chair. Look at all these majors coming out with justice on the bottom again. Damn. This moon's definitely taken over. Wow. Okay. So the moon's about things in the darkness, right? Illusions. Now, I personally love the moon. I think it's my favorite card, right? I'm a moon goddess, so that, of course, right? But we have that big influence, right, of the moon, of that energy, of your emotions, secrecy. Sometimes things get illuminated to yourself under these full moons where you start to realize aspects of yourself, secrets within yourself. For some of you, I could be illuminating certain things within you, activating things that you didn't know you were doing to yourself. Right? It's like when you allow people to treat you a certain way, you're telling the universe that that's okay. Okay, when you don't impose self-love, you're putting yourself in lack, right? You need to put yourself, be focusing on yourself, loving yourself, healing yourself, being okay in your own energy. Sometimes things get brought to light to reveal things for you. Like if there was lies and deception being done, it gets revealed to you. I'm going to pull some cards on top of that and we'll see. Oh my God, look at what is right here. The Emperor and the Empress. This is a perfect balance with the Ace of Swords. Oh, there's some sort of revelation, realization definitely coming together. This is the perfect balance of masculine and feminine attributes. This is a perfect pair, perfect match. Ace of Swords is communication, but it could be enlightenment, downloads. With the Knight of Oars, the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Swords, that's fast-moving energy. 5 of Swords to the 10 of Swords. Damn. There was a lot of battling in this painful. Next to the 10 of Chalices, that's 2 10s. You could be seeing 10, 10 if you are as confirmation this is your reading. Doesn't have to be the only. But do you see how it's flipping? something was keeping you trapped in the darkness, and then all of a sudden it's flipping it. This is like pain then to the love of your life. For some of you, it's like you could be realizing that, see with the butterflies, and transforming all of that pain to love. Or for some, it could be a missed opportunity. We've got 3 10s now. 10, 10, 10. And that's also binary code, source code, reset. For some of you, like, you're being reset. Okay. For some, there's missed opportunities. Like I said, every situation can be different. I'm getting it both ways, you know, as I am collectively. I have been for weeks, right? Like for some, it's a missed opportunity. You have to look in with yourself. Like if you're in a situation, a situationship, a relationship, what is it like? Okay. Or do you feel like you're repeating cycles and patterns? Are the same woundings, are the same things triggering you? Is your partner growing with you? Are they doing the work? Are they, you know, because a person, if they don't want to change, then they don't really love you. They will put in the work to change if they love you. That's a way to tell right there. Okay. They're either growing or they're not, right? Because you put in work in a relationship. You don't get together and just, it's like I've seen somewhere, a meme earlier where it's like, if they keep coming back, then it's meant to be. No. Okay. Because people get complacent in trauma bonds and they try to go away, and then the pain's too much and they go back. But are they changing, right? Are they evolving? Are they doing the work for you, right? That's how you know if you're repeating a cycle or you're on this new beginning. Like, do you have somebody that's making you compete for love? Play runner-chaser dynamics, you know what I mean? Play these games, pull on your energy, do these things, right? Or when you're apart, you know, are they supportive of you? Are they making you feel loved, or are they making you feel insecure? You know, so you could be checking in with yourself a lot at this time. How does this relationship make me feel? Is this pulling on my wounds? Is this person supportive of me? And sometimes you just got to take breaks for yourself. Sometimes you realize like, wow, I need to focus on me. I need to love me. I need to heal me. If I keep thinking that everybody's going to hurt me and deceive me and all of this, then you probably should get out of that relationship, because you're either going to project that, you're going to cause that to happen to you. How are you going to be able to heal from that? You're so focused on everybody else and your lover instead of focusing on healing yourself. That's why I always say heal yourself, especially when you get out of something, before you try to. You can't go from being broken into a healthy relationship without healing yourself first. Okay. I feel like there is a battle here. For some, there are some new contracts that are here. I'm going to say with the Knight of Swords, there is 2 on this card, and they look like they're battling each other next to the Knight of Oars. So the Oars in this deck is the Wands. But they are for real battling. It's the only card that I have. Only deck that has 2. I don't even know how to take that, except it's right next to the 5 of Swords. There's some sort of fast movement. The Knight of Wands can be that player energy, in and out, committed 1 minute, not the next. That's somebody that has wounds, that's kind of in and out. Like the gaslighter card, the love bomber card. It's like they say all these sweet, beautiful things, but then they don't. That's where they're pulling on your energy and going back and forth, right? Not saying what they mean, like 1 minute they want you, the next that they don't, right? Causing that insecurity, pulling on your wounds, playing with you. That's what I mean. There's an Emperor here. There's a boss energy. If you're coming off in this Empress energy, or, you know, and you could be a masculine as well. Remember, these are energies. They're not always genders, but the Empress is very abundant and beautiful, very loving, caring, kind. She attracts everything that she deserves and desire. The Empress doesn't go chasing. The Empress knows her worth. She's an embodiment of all 4 queens. She's literally going to bring in and pull in exactly to her. So if you were dealing with somebody that was being in this immature player-like energy, keep going around in cycles and not evolving into this beautiful Emperor, you're attracting in a match. So you could have a new contract here. For others of you, this could be an embodiment of a Knight of Wands could have emerged into this Emperor energy, as the Empress is supposed to activate an Emperor, right? And sometimes you do come in alignment with people and do the work together. Other times people come in as catalysts just to prepare you for your next level. Like I said, you have to take however you're feeling it fitting for your situation. Right? But this definitely, this is like divine timing. Oh my gosh. At its finest, which would go in alignment with the times. Wow. Alright, let's get a few more cards and then I'll close this out. If you're still here, subscribe. If not, why have you not subscribed? This is free content over here. You interact with me energetically by liking the videos, commenting. I know that a lot of the times you try to like them, you put comments, they disappear, all of that. I'm very much aware as they do mess with the algorithms. Us real ones, they don't like to push our content, do they? But it's all good, Brian, as I upload to the ethers. Y'all know that. So, if you do come across my stuff in the physical, it is, you know, we're like the hidden gems. That's why I say the real ones. We're not buying our subscribers and our accounts. We are getting them organically. And for those of you that do, you know, have, and the beautiful readers, like some, you know, they, no shame on all of that. But I'm saying don't let that discourage you, right? Okay, so right away when I was getting the closing cards here, the closing cards, the Nine of Chalices came out, the Two of Coins of Strength, the Queen of Oars, and the Two of Swords. So remember, I was saying this definitely comes at a choice point. Okay, a major choice. This is going to be a head over heart decision for sure. Oh my gosh, there's something with the babies. There is a baby down below here. For some of you, this has to do with inner child healing and wounds, big time. Maybe this has to do with children, okay, or an aspect of that. I'm sorry, it's difficult when it's a collective, right? Because we all feel your energy, right? The more you watch me, the more you interact, even just trying, right? Even just intent. That's why I say whenever you align with the reader, the more that you watch them, the more that they feel your energy, right? So, but you definitely have a decision to make here. I'm going to leave the baby thing for however you want to take it. But there's definitely a decision here. The strength, for some of you, you've gotten empowered into this strength, right? You've overcome your woundings. The Queen of Oars, you're passionate, you're ready to take action, charge of control over your world. And the Nine of Chalices, beautiful. That's the Minor Empress energy. I feel you started to pour that love into yourself. That's very, very beautiful. And it's just like, even if you're in a relationship or a situationship where you are not getting loved and supported like you deserved and desired, you damn sure started to pour that love into yourself, which could trigger a lover to do the work as well, or bringing in a new lover. Four of Coins. Somebody's holding on to you very strongly, though. That's why I'm seeing this. Like, for some of you, sometimes literally when a new lover does emerge, it really can trigger the person to do the work. Like, wow, yep, I'm about to get left. Okay. Three of Chalices, that is reconciliation, but it's also coming together. It could be new love. It could be a reconciliation from a past life lover. For some of you, I did see the Six of Cups. It doesn't always have to be the past in this lifetime. I don't like to call it that way, especially we just went through a retrograde, so don't think just because somebody came back from the past that, oh my gosh, like we're meant to be there. A lot of times they're stepping stones, y'all. Leave the past people behind unless they have evolved into this beautiful emperor and went down a journey of path with other people to do so. I mean, that's why you have to check in with how people are. You know, trust what you feel right away. Don't ever go off of what a reading says, okay? Page of Swords, I told you somebody is definitely strategizing, holding on to you. Eight of Oars, which is the Eight of Wands. Fast movement here towards Two of Cups. Damn. There's fast movement towards beautiful, equal partnership, equal love, equal give and take, ordained. I'm getting like ordained. I'm getting like marriage too. And with the Nine of Coins out here. So for some of you, long-term commitment, like these long-term partnerships are definitely coming together. Wow. All right, I'm going to leave it here. I'm sending love and light to all of you. Definitely watch whatever you feel guided to. Know that. Know all my readings are timeless. This could be talking about something that's currently going on for you, projection to the future, or maybe I was reading a storyline that already played out for you, and it simply gave you the confirmation that you are on point in where you are in your journey. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Love and light to all of you. Bye.